empires are so pompous, it's delusional. And in that brazen pomposity does a fatal ignorance of the vastness of existence hide. It is in their hubris that the virtual enslavement of their people lies. But why would an empire whose foundation is slavery arm its people with the ultimate weapon? That is to say, truth. Every child is a bastard, an orphan in this godless land. Argue with Daniel J. Worston or Martin Luther, hell, even Yeshua the Nazarene, not me. The ethnocentric, anti-indigenous, anti-black rhetoric literally demonizing while simultaneously belittling our ancestral beliefs is, suffice it to say, violent. I'm not going to belabor what brutes the colonizers are, but I won't fail to emphasize the fact that before leaving the shores of Europe, to subjugate the rest of the planet, primarily through psychological and spiritual warfare, as well, of course, as physical and genetic, the Roman Empire first did so to the tribes of Europe, who were our kin, in spirit until they weren't. Until they suckled at the bubonic teat of the replicant wolf and were poisoned into the beast system. They used a corruption of his truth as a crystalline being to rename themselves the Holy Roman Empire, after which they spread their debauched seed across the continent via the Habsburg bloodline, a genetic cesspool of warped incest DNA. And that's why they were all scaly with skin disorders and blood diseases like hemophilia. Fucking gross, fucking freaks, barbarians, savages. Such practices in our tribal traditions are 100% taboo. We do not allow such aberrations because despite what the underdeveloped minds of those puerile believers of the fallacious doctrine of this ghastly superstructure have been convinced of, we have a deep and thoroughgoing conception of DNA and genetics as well as science at large. Anyway, I don't really give a shit. Or, well, I do, but that's not really the point. Well, really it is. The point is predicated upon those facts, which I hold to be self-evident. And that point is that in my culture, magic is real. There was never a time when I believed otherwise, because it is an integral part of our history, interwoven into the tapestry of not just our lore, but everyday life. And why is that any less valid than the rituals of Abraham's descendants, or the faith that so-called atheists place in their disbelief of a spiritual world? We are easier to control when we are bereft of our spiritual integration. Disempowered and dispossessed, we are easier to mount, manipulate, demoralize, exploit. But the sinner doesn't believe in Jinnah or witchcraft or medicine or sorcery or workings, so they see what they want to, which is nothing. Well, I've seen something you wouldn't believe. Despite facts and evidence of our complex cosmogony and quantum comprehension, we are but barmy brutes in your conception of the collective. I've seen faces in mirrors of people who weren't there, and it wasn't only me. I've seen spontaneous combustion and spiritual destruction. I've seen magic as plain as day, and how do you explain my existence, my experience otherwise? It'll be 7 seals of cognitive dissonance. Just like how you all attempted to murder a celestial being, a cosmic consciousness from which you yourself sprung. You're a moron. So what do I care? What do I have to prove to you, of all people? What can't see what's real versus illusions? If only you understood waves and particles and storytelling and poetry. My ship's coming in, and unfortunately, it won't dock. And you're too dense to board, but I love you anyway.